Welcome. Happy Wednesday. How's everyone doing? Feel free to say hello. Let us know where you're joining from. Let us know if it's your first time with me. I have a feeling we're going to have a lot of new timers today. Jackie asked how I'm feeling. I'm feeling so much better than I was on Friday. I'll talk about that in a second, but thank you for asking. Greetings, Christine. Hello, Jackie. Hi, Jean. Hi, Lori. Happy full moon. Roxy, good morning. Happy full moon. Feeling the lack of sleep. Ha, same. Hello, Tina. Hello, AJ. Hi, Bonnie. Mari, hello from Elgin. I'm joining you from Northern Illinois. Very cool. Yes, Christine, I sound a lot better. I feel a lot better. Hello, Sophia, still in Germany, fasting with the full moon. Sending so much love. Thank you. Hello, Tina from New York, first timer. Welcome. Jess from Northern California. Welcome, welcome. Hello, Peter. Miss, first time from Belgium. Welcome. Aish, hello, first time here, sitting at a beach in Ireland, feeling incredibly blessed to be a part of this. Thank you. Awesome. Thank you for bringing Ireland to my live stream. Before I read the rest of the messages, I'll just let you guys know, because we have a couple new timers here today. My name is Jacqui Mancuso, and I am an astrologer from Northern Illinois. Here on Insight Timer, I talk about the daily astrology, whatever's happening. I come live a few times a week, depending on what the stars are doing. And then after we describe what the astrology is doing and how to utilize it, then I pull some oracle cards. And the cards give us just supreme divine guidance along the lines of how to utilize what's actually happening. So very glad that you guys are able to be here today. Leah, hello. Nicole, good morning. Hi, Greg. Glad you're better. Thank you. Hello, Wade. Hello, Debbie. Tucson. 34 degrees under a full moon. You mean you're outside when it's 34 degrees out? Is that what you're saying? Welcome, Debbie. Jackie also says welcome first timers. Hello, Natalie. Bonjour. Great to see you. I've been thinking about you. Awesome. Hello, Nancy. Yes, I was sick last week. I did that thing where you actually rest. And I actually used some very natural remedies, and I was better within a few days. So I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on it, but I do want to share with you guys what I drank, because it was like magic sauce. Jackie knows that I love my onion water. So that's the thing that I do for like the whole winter season, just to keep my immune system going, as I put onion slices into water in the fridge. I let it sit for 3 days and then I like sip on it. And then I take the onions out, because the onions will start to absorb like toxins and stuff after 3 days. So I compost the onions and I just like drink the water. I sip the water a few times a day. That helps like flush out your immune system. But I was sick and I got over this in like 2.5 days. I put a pot on the stove and I just threw onions, garlic, and ginger in the pot. So I let it like steep essentially. And then I would heat that up to make tea with lemon and honey and cayenne pepper. And it wasn't as gross as I thought it would be. The lemon and the cayenne just kind of took over. And I felt great in a couple days. My husband got sick the day after me, and he's like still sick because I was chugging this stuff. And he was just kind of doing it dude style. So just know that's a trick if you want to feel better. So today we're here to talk about the full moon in Cancer. Hello, Sweat. I just got back to your message. I don't know if you saw it yet. We're here to talk about the full moon in Cancer. The full moon occurs when the sun is opposite of the moon. In this case, the sun is in Capricorn, because we're officially into Capricorn season. The moon is opposite in Cancer. This full moon peaked last night, technically. It peaked at 6:33 p.m. Central Time on Tuesday, December 26th. And the energy of this moon will still be available for the next day or so it's okay, we didn't miss anything. I usually talk about how astrology is served well in retrospect anyway. So I feel like, especially for those of you who hang out with me quite often, I wondered the difference, because we usually talk about stuff before it happens, and it's been a while since I've done like a retrospect event. So I'll just say that. So this full moon in Cancer occurred at 4 degrees 55 minutes of Cancer, and you can round up to 5 degrees. So just know that that's where it was. Full moons represent the end of a cycle. It's the culmination. Full moons attribute to energies of closure and celebration. Full moons also represent a time of letting go of what no longer serves you. So it's all the things that you would do at the end of a cycle when you're wrapping it up. Hello, Rose. Nice to see you. When the moon is in Cancer, it's at home. The moon is the ruler of Cancer. So when they're together, the qualities of both swell. So full moons always bring heightened emotions, right? As the moon is pulling on the waters of the earth, pulling on our internal waters, it's making us become lunatics. That's where that word comes from. The full moon in Cancer, right, can cause these emotions to be even bigger and more apparent. This is because Cancer is a water sign. So Cancer already has that emotional, intuitive sense to it. Greg, that's conjunct your North Node. Full moon conjunct your North Node. All right. If you are a Cancer birth sign, are you affected more? That's a great question. I get super specific when it comes to astrology. So that's a question that I really can't answer unless I see your whole chart. But, I don't know. Yeah. It depends on what degree the sun was at in Cancer when you were born. And then it also, anyone can have any placements in Cancer. So if you were born during the Cancer time, what is that, late June to mid-July, then your sun is in Cancer, but your sun could have been at 25 degrees of Cancer, and this full moon is happening at 5 degrees of Cancer. So I like where your mind is going. That's a nice introduction to astrology, but I get super specific. And like Greg was saying, he has his North Node conjunct this full moon. That means that when he was born, the North Node was at 5 degrees of Cancer, or 4, whichever. Jacqui is saying the full moon is conjunct her Venus, so Venus in Jacqui's chart is at 4 or 5 degrees of Cancer. And now this full moon is bringing a closure, bringing a culmination to that part of their lives. So I'm really curious, because you guys are my regulars, very curious to hear how my explanation is going to come out. Greg says, wow, that explains my extra emotions this week so far. Heightened anger one night and sadness the next. Oh, we'll talk about emotions, Greg. So it's been wacky, Leanne. Cancer is our cardinal water sign. So every sign has a quality to it. They're either cardinal, fixed, or mutable. They're either the party starters, the cardinal signs, or the sustainers, or the wrapper-uppers. Cancer is the initiatory. Cancer is a cardinal water sign. So the energy of Cancer already wants to initiate projects and adventures based on intuition, based on emotion. So last night's full moon in Cancer, may have been a culmination of stagnant energy, stagnant emotion in your body, and now you're ready to turn the page. Now you're ready to start the next chapter. Now that you've shook a certain emotion loose by feeling it, now that could be your body, the astrology, everything telling you, all right, this emotion, it's not going to sit in here anymore. We're going to use it and do something with it. We're going to move forward because of this. Additionally, last night's full moon received beautiful support from Jupiter at 5 degrees of Taurus and from Saturn at 2 degrees of Pisces. So in the sky at the time of the full moon, the moon, Saturn, and Jupiter are forming another one of those minor grand trines. We were just talking about this minor grand trine aspect pattern a couple days ago. This happens where you have one big trine and then 2 sextiles. So the moon and Saturn are forming a trine 120 degrees away, and both of them form a sextile to Jupiter. All 3 of these aspects are super harmonious. They're helpful. It's like a thumbs up from the planets. It's like a high five planet to planet. They just want to help each other out. Mini grand trines are representative of building a skill. So all these emotions that we've been feeling this week, they're helping us to build some sort of skill in our life. So here's how I'm breaking down this mini grand trine, minor grand trine that's involved with the full moon. So we have the moon in Cancer, which wants us to truly feel our emotions. Trining Saturn in Pisces, which wants us to dissolve boundaries that are out of our alignment. And they're both receiving a sextile from Jupiter and Taurus, expanding on what we already have available to us. Expanding Jupiter, our resources, Taurus, our skills, our physical, tangible resources. So this full moon is giving an opportunity to let our emotions flow, which will show us the boundaries that need to go. I didn't even try to rhyme that, it just happened. We are given the opportunity to let our emotions flow, and our emotions will show us the boundaries that need to go. What's causing you to feel resistance right now in your life? Got it? What boundary or limitation is in place causing that resistance? Like, what kind of wall are you coming up against that you're feeling that resistance? What is that? And then how might that boundary, that limitation, how might that be adjusted using what you already have? I love my personal example. Last night was just chef's kiss. I was like 6:30. All right, I'm waiting. What's gonna happen with the full moon tonight? So here's a personal example to help you digest what's causing resistance, what's the limitation in place, how might you use what you already have to adjust. So life in the Mancuso household has been a little hectic. It's been a little chaotic. Nothing's wrong. We've just been super busy. And there's been tension building between me and my husband. We're both feeling this resistance, but our limitation, the boundary, was time. We weren't choosing to make time to talk with each other. We were choosing to take our time separately. We were prioritizing other things, hoping that the tension would just go away. So last night, emotions got high. So here's the emotion showing us, like, we haven't had the time to discuss this. Now we're more argumentative. So we got to a place where we had no choice but to break the time boundary. And if you guys know me, I go to bed at 8:30 p.m. We stayed up till midnight last night, like, talking because it needed to happen. Our emotions broke that barrier. We no longer had that boundary of, I need to go to bed, I'm prioritizing sleep. We're gonna figure that out later. Our priority in that moment was like, we gotta talk this out. So we stayed up and we talked and we utilized what we already have. We already have love for each other. We already have the desire to problem solve. And we already have these communication skills that we've been building on for years. So here in that minor grand trine, the moon, our emotions, broke through Saturn, the boundary of time, taking time. And then Jupiter and Taurus, we utilized the skills that we already have, right? We didn't go run out to a therapist to have someone help us. We were like, wait a second, we've done this. We've been on this rodeo before. And now we're in the process, because this minor grand trine is a skill building process. We're in the process of building the skill of having more open communication, more frequent communication. Sophia, there it is. Yes. So I'm trying to example real life things to you. And that was just like so perfect, so beautiful. It's a very sweet story and wonderful example. So I'm going to ask you those questions again, now that you can see how it might play out in a real life situation. What are your emotions showing you? What emotions have been flowing lately? Or this could be a good time to ask yourself, what emotions have been trying to come up, but you don't have time for them? You don't no, anger and sadness, just shh. You'll go away if I don't listen to you, right? Like, ask yourself, what emotion has been trying to come up? Let it flow, especially with the energy of this Cancer full moon. Let that emotion go, because it's trying to show you the boundary that's creating that resistance. Hi, Liz, made it back from the auto shop in time. So if you're feeling anger about a situation, like, what energetic wall are you running up against? You know what I'm saying? And then how can you utilize what you already have? Jupiter and Taurus expands our resources with the sun in Capricorn that I'm not even bringing into the conversation today, but the sun right now is shining through Capricorn. Right now, our light wants us to utilize. That's the key word of Capricorn, is utilize. It's an earth sign. I have all this stuff. Cool, I have it. I gathered it while I was in Taurus season. I sorted it out while I was in Virgo season. Now we're in Capricorn. Now how do I put this stuff to use? There is so much going on in the sky today. And that's all I'm going to focus on for now, because we're going to get to the cards. But there's so many aspects. There's so many moving parts. Like, this week is hot in astrology. So for today, that's what we're going to talk about. I'll be back on Friday to talk about Venus moving into Sagittarius, to talk about Jupiter stationing direct, and to talk about Mercury stationing direct. However, there's more intricacies. So I encourage you, if this is like tickling your fancy, go listen to other astrologers. See what other astrologers are saying about all of this. Astrology is such a vast world. And even, I noticed too, like when I make my show notes, like I talked about on Insight Timer in the description, all about like Cancer is also the mother, and it's about protection and safety and nurturing. But like what came through when I was making my notes today doesn't even equal that. Astrology is so incredibly vast and intricate. So I'm just saying right now, there's so much going on, and I just don't have the time to talk about it. I had to pick the most important parts. So go listen to more astrologers. Hello, Anik. This is so interesting. I'm feeling better. Thank you so much. Sophia says, I'm liberating my partner from my expectations, holding him in curiosity and acceptance. That's wonderful, Sophia. I'm feeling similar things. That's very cool. Jacqui, my boundary has been time, putting my desires first. I have planned all Thursday to be my time to create and get artsy. Look at you go. You have that creative urge coming up, and now you're creating, and you're bending your boundary of time. You're creating a boundary for yourself. When I say, like, how did I put it? Adjusting a boundary, what boundary is in place, that doesn't always mean like break it down, make freedom. Maybe you do need to make yourself feel a little more safe by putting up some boundaries for yourself. Okay, I feel safe because I have these 6 hours to do all the art that I want. I'm creating the space so I can do what I want freely. Roxy, do you recommend an astrologer to learn more of what's happening this week? Yes, I'll type them in the chat. I am a huge fan of Molly McCord and Pam Gregory. Both of those ladies you can find on YouTube just by searching their name. They're wonderful. Amy, I'm feeling a lot of compassion for myself. Normally, I'm very critical of myself. That's great. So Cancer is, the full moon was in Cancer. Cancer is the sign of the mother as well. So all of that nurturing, mothering, taking care of energy, I love that it's coming into you as well. You are so welcome, Roxy. All right, so for our cards today, I have 2 decks. The first deck we're gonna pull 3 cards from just to get like a nice 3-card spread. The messages always intertwine and they just, so beautiful. And then the second deck, we're gonna just pull 1 culminating card. So that's what's to come. We are first going to use the Healing Waters Oracle, and we are going to ask, what are our emotions trying to show us right now? What are our emotions trying to show us right now? And for those who know, as soon as I asked that question, I looked at the timer of how long we've been in this session, and it was 22:22. So this is going to be a great reading. Just been in heavy-duty mothering mode, stepping back and letting others fill the gaps while I recuperate. That's been a theme in my life as well. If you guys ever want to see the replay of what goes on here, just search my name on YouTube, or you can use my Insight Timer bio to get my link tree, which has all my links, YouTube included. But I record all these sessions and I repost them for you guys, so you can go back and revisit. Especially, like, if I make a reference to an event that happened, you can always go back and just refresh, like, what was going on at that point. And we also have a group on Insight Timer. It's called Our Spiritual Community. You can also find that link in my Insight Timer profile. And Bonnie, our friend Bonnie here, posts the text updates, like the text recaps of the cards in Our Spiritual Community. So if you ever want to just go back and reread the card descriptions, and it's also a nice little beautiful community that we've created that we share and support, and people post their favorite meditations and we support each other. Like Greg is now an Insight Timer teacher and he promotes himself there, and it's just a fun little spiritual community. You're very welcome, Roxy. All right, so feel free to send your energy into this deck. And our first question is, what are our emotions trying to show us right now? What are our emotions trying to show us right now? And the way that I do my readings is I let 3 cards fall out, and all the cards are for all of us. I'm going to read all 3 cards. However, I will show you the backs of the 3 cards. So once the 3 fall out, you're going to see the same blue watery image 3 times. I'm going to show you the backs of the cards just so that you can utilize your intuition. Notice if anything changes. There's no right or wrong way to do intuition. If you just feel like a certain card has a stronger message for you, go with it. If it doesn't make sense, okay, try again next time. The whole reading is for all of us, but if a certain card is just like speaking to you for some reason, I usually say that just has a stronger message. Like your guides are saying, that's the card. If you take one thing out of this whole reading, if you remember one thing, it's in that card. If you feel nothing, your intuition is not broken. Sometimes it's stronger than others. Sometimes we get more in here than we are in here, and that's fine. It's a learning process. Greg loves the card back. Soft and soothing. All right, I'm going to show you the backs of the cards, and then let us know in the chat which ones are resonating with you, if any. So, What are our emotions trying to show us right now? Here's the back of card number 1. The back of card number 2. And the back of card number 3. Let us know if any of those are resonating. And I'll show them one more time. Bonnie, what is that emoji you put in there? It looks, can't even take a guess. One more time, here's the back of card number 1. The back of card number 2. And the back of card number 3. I didn't even know that there were tarot card emojis. All right, a lot of people here today. Let's see who's working with what. Jackie already knew. 2 and 1. Roxy loves the chimes. I have a YouTube stream on. It's the channel is called Calm Whale. They do live streams for all the lunar events and all the fun stuff. So that's a YouTube Calm Whale. Kara 3, Leanne 3. I know there's only 3 cards, but 7 keeps coming up for me. Interesting. Sweat 2, Jennifer all 3, Alexandra 3, Jackie 3, Mary Alice 2, 3, Barbara 2 and 3, Sophia 1, Patty 3, April 3, Michelle 1 for me, Martha 3, Patty 1, Rochelle 2 and 3, Alex 1, good morning Michelle, Jennifer all 3 with 1 being the strongest, Rachel 2, Leah 1 and 2, April 1, Bonnie cards 3 and 4 for Christine, that would make 7. Julie 3, Liz 1 and 2, Jean 1 and 3 this time, Nancy 3, Roxy 1 and 3, Michelle 1 and 2, Christine 3, Lori 2 and 3, Lucy all 3, Greg all 3, Anique 2 and 3, Natalie 3, Linda 2, expansive year ahead. Chantel 2, Meow and Cry, 3, Darkness. I love this. I get so excited because I know that means something to you, like so much when I read this. I think that I just love that kind of stuff. Jess 1 and 3, Amanda 1, Nicole all 3. Hi Carrie, just in time, working with card 1 today. Kim all 3, AJ 2 and 3. Jess 2, the strongest, then 1. Kay all 3, Diana 1, Samar all 3. Lovely. What are our emotions trying to show us right now? Card number 1. What are our emotions trying to show us right now? Card number 1 brings us stagnant waters, feeling stuck, a call for shifts, flow, and change. You don't say. That's like maybe what we were talking about with the astrology earlier. That's interesting. Perhaps it's the movement of water that contains the intelligent flow of energy that makes life possible, the life force that animates all living things. When water stops flowing, it could become stagnant. This lack of flow can cause a buildup and lead to pollution. Perhaps we're like that too. Perhaps we need to flow just as much as the waters of the world. This card brings with it a call for flow, movement, and change. How can you begin to flow a little more with life's changes? Where in your life do you feel stuck? What has become stagnant or lacking of vitality, ease, and flow? How are you being called to re-inject more movement into your life? Sometimes when we go through life, our energy can become stuck. Physically, emotionally, spiritually, romantically, and yet life is always there to support our return to flow, to movement. This is a wonderful card to receive as it comes with a magnificent opportunity for shifting energy and embracing change and new possibilities. Perhaps you've been complacent or just feel stuck. Maybe you've been avoiding something deep down, and this is causing the waters within you to stagnate. Perhaps the intelligence of the water is inviting you to call upon the intelligence within you to find the courage to embrace a new way of flowing with life. This card asks 2 questions of you. What feels stuck or stagnant in your life? What shifts are you being called to make? Yeah, right? Jinx, Greg. This card says exactly what we were just talking about with the astrology. What are our emotions trying to tell us right now? Something's stuck, and you have the power to move it. If you've been in a place of just like coasting because things are comfortable and it's what is it? There's a video, was it Bonnie? Bonnie just sent this to me. There's a video and you guys have probably seen like similar things. But a woman is sitting on a couch and she has a nail in her head. She has like a screw in her head. And her husband is sitting right there and she's like, I just want to talk about my feelings. And he's like, but you have a screw in your head. And she's like, right, but I just need you to like understand what I'm going through. And he's like, I bet it would feel fine if you just took the screw out of your head. And she's like, whatever. But it's another metaphor for like, we'll just deal with things that are not that bad. And that's kind of it. Like, she had this nail in her head and all she wants to do is explain and feel validated that she's having these feelings, but like do something about it, right? I see both sides. But this card is talking about there's something in your life that is kind of dragging you down, essentially. It's just stagnant. It's not flowing. It's just there. And it's okay that it's there because it's not that big of a deal. It's okay, quote unquote, okay that it's there because it's not a big deal. But once you address it, once you move it, once you express how you actually feel about it, it'll start to flow. And then, surprise, things will get better. I think it's often common to avoid the initial, but then usually once you face the initial, like you admit that something's a problem, you talk about something to someone else, you like come to terms with yourself that you like are not happy with a choice that you made 15 years ago. Once you just address it and face it, the waters can start to flow, and like the pain isn't there anymore because you've opened the flow. Does that make sense? Jean, this is speaking to me now. Carrie says, yes, that is the exact topic my hubby and I have been talking about all week. So interesting. You gotta let it go. You gotta look at it. Pretending that things aren't there are just gonna cause the energy to become stagnant. So that's what your emotions are trying to tell you with card number 1. Totally resonates, Roxy. That's awesome. Card number 2, what else are our emotions trying to tell us or try to show us? Card number 2 is into the unknown, underworld, depth, courage, facing your fears. Earth is a water planet. Seen from space, it appears blue. Water makes up 71% of the Earth's surface, yet we've explored less than 20% of its ocean floor. There are creatures of the deep that have captivated humans for millennia. It's no wonder, too, that water has been used as a symbol for our inner emotional world. There's always so much for us to discover and uncover within. Excuse me. Are you being called to face your fears and explore the unknown? To challenge what you thought was possible? This is a card of courage, initiation, and depth. Perhaps you're being called to make a significant change in your life that you feel scared about. Or maybe what you're experiencing is more internal than that. Maybe life is calling you to venture into the shadowy depths of your own inner journey. to face things that others may be afraid to face, to heal what might feel difficult to heal, to surrender to a metaphorical depth in order to re-emerge anew. In the ancient Sumerian story about the goddess Ayana's journey to the underworld to meet her sister, she leaves the comfort of heaven and earth to descend into the unknown depths. Here she encounters many trials and initiations until she returns, completely changed by her experiences. This story tells us that sometimes to be born anew, we must face our fears and find the courage to venture into the unknown. There's a question with this card as well. How can you face your fears today? One of my favorite sayings, my go-to, is that everything you've ever wanted is on the other side of fear. And that's, card number 2 really set us up from card number 1. I was just saying that or even card number 1 or what we were talking about earlier, it seems so scary to make the confrontation. But then 99% of the time, once you're over that initial, like, okay, I said what I wanted to say, then, you know, like the inner toddler might come out with whoever you're addressing, right? And they might scream and stomp around, but like that doesn't mean that your feelings are invalid. It means that they're having an emotional reaction to a new boundary that you're setting, right? So facing your fears, diving into the unknown, there's always something beautiful waiting for you. The universe is just waiting for you to develop the courage to dive in and go find it. Baby steps. Let's see what you guys are talking about. Oh. Something vibes for me when you said something you decided 15 years ago. Interesting, Greg. If there is, here we go, guys. I have a meditation for you. If there's something in your past that you are having a hard time accepting and owning, because we've all made mistakes, right? We've all been young and we do what we have to do when we're young. But if there's something that you're still like, I just don't want to talk about it, I wish I didn't do that, I have a meditation on my Insight Timer page, free meditation. It is called Releasing Guilt and Regret. And it's like 15 minutes. It's a meditation where I bring you to meet with a past version of yourself to like forgive them. And it's a lot of people's favorite of mine. So if that's resonating with you, it's called Releasing Guilt and Regret. Goal for 2024 is to be more fearless, Melissa. I love that. I love that. I've really been trying to embody that, and it's taken me very far. Fear is just a construct of the mind. Christine, hearing your dogs bark makes me miss Darla. I'm sorry she's not here today. I was thinking about my ectopic pregnancy while hearing this. It's 1 month now. I hope that helps you dive into just a whole new adventure, right? Everything happens for us. The universe is here to give us things, like to give us lessons and opportunities for growth. I know it's not always easy, but nothing is ever happening to you. The word taboo keeps coming up for Jess. Sophia, you're speaking to my heart. Greg, my sadness last night was about connections and relationships. Now I'm wondering what I decided 15 years ago that's a boundary for allowing a romantic relationship. You never know. Joe, spot on, happened recently. Ex-partner threw a tantrum like a child. Yeah. Just love that I skipped number 2. I've been facing my fears over and over for the last 2 years and needed a gentler kind of growth for now. I love it. Listening to your intuition. Of course, Greg. Thank you so much, Amy, for your donation. Someone's comment just It just disappeared, so if you want to resend it. I see Liz and Amy after Amy's donation. Liz said, Jomi's too. Last night's full moon was crazy emotional for both of us. I think we're both acknowledging that we're not good together, but this reading has helped me feel more optimistic. Yeah, sometimes you just have to dive in and utilize what you already have. If you already have love for each other, use it. You're welcome, you're welcome. Popped in, Kate, but got that card and totally resonated. Hi, Debbie. Kim, what do you mean nothing is happening to you? Are you talking about fear? Are you talking about when I was saying that fear is just a construct of your mind? Nothing is happening to you. Got it. This is it's a mindset shift that's helped me immensely in all aspects of life. The universe gives us opportunities all the time, right? So everything that happens in our lives, it happens for us. It doesn't happen to us. So it's not like the universe is punishing you when something seemingly bad happens. I also disconnected from good and bad. I don't believe that anything is good or anything is bad. I believe that everything just is. And us as humans, using our free will, determine and we place the labels on that's a good thing and that's a bad thing. Everything just is. So if everything is happening for us, even like when the worst things in life happen, they happen to trigger and evoke certain emotions so that our emotions can show us what we desire in our life, what is in alignment, what is out of alignment. Nothing is ever happening to you as a punishment. Everything is here as an opportunity for you. So if you're able to shift the way that you think about that, everything gets so much easier. It doesn't feel like anyone's out to get you anymore. It's made me feel a lot less defensive in my life, and it's so much easier to just accept things as they are. It comes into knowing like what you have control over and what you don't have control over. Everything happens for you. Thank you for asking. That's a great question. You're welcome, Kim. Alrighty, card number 3. What else are our emotions trying to show us right now? This has been spot on already. Can't wait to see what card 3 is. Let it rain. Allowing what is, inevitability, and trust. Gosh. There's a moment just before it starts to rain when the pressure can be felt. What's been building up is preparing for a big release. The clouds cannot hold their breath a moment longer, and then right on cue, they surrender the rain they've been holding on to. And a downpour finally begins. While we may have preferred to see clear skies abound, a sweet relief can be felt when the waters of the sky return to the ground. There's also a special moment that can be felt immediately after the rain stops and the sun reappears from behind the clouds. It's similar to what happens to us during a good emotional cry. The endorphins that are released as we let our red-hot tears flow down our cheeks evoke a sweet feeling of relief. Something's been released, lifted, and cleared. We feel a little lighter and more free. This card comes with our encouragement to surrender to what's been happening in your life. Maybe you're experiencing a challenge or something isn't going to plan. Although you might prefer the sun to shine all year round, there's intelligence in the rainy days. And there's healing in your tears. Let it rain, let it rain, let it rain. The question from this card for you all: what are you being called to surrender to? Let it go. Especially full moon time, it's a perfect time to let it go. Let it out. Feel it. Surrender to the emotion. Because the emotion's not going to go anywhere. If you don't let it, be felt, the emotion's just going to store itself somewhere in your body. And that's how disease occurs. The more emotionally healthy I've become, the more physically healthy I've been feeling. I'm at the point where if I have a good cry once a week, cool. I guess not really. When I first started letting myself cry, it was floodgates. It was like hours of ugly crying, moaning, repeating the same thing over and over. I tried my best. It's a Dane Cook skit, if anyone knows what I'm talking about. And then now it feels so good. Like stuff comes up, I let it out, and then like 30 seconds later, I feel so much better. Instead of what I used to do, something would come up. I'd be like, oop, I'm in a place where I can't cry right now. No, just tough it out. It's fine. It's fine. You don't need to cry about it. Suck it up. And then I would suck it right into my body, and it would cause tension. And it causes things like heart failure and blood pressure and stress. And everything is connected. Our emotional body is completely connected to our physical body. But our emotions right now are telling us, like, something needs to go. Something needs to flow. Martine, the name of the deck, I'm holding it up for you. It's the Healing Waters Oracle. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Greg, of course. Nicole says, all three cards complement one another so well. I agree. I'm going to recap these real quick, and then we'll get to the final deck. Surrender to the darkness for me to get the relief and calmness needed. Yes. So I'm going to bring it back to what we were talking about earlier now that we've had this beautiful reading. Earlier I was asking you guys, or I'm informing you, we're being given the opportunity to let our emotions flow. Let the emotions flow. Let them flow. You might need to go into the unknown to do so. However, we're being given the opportunity to let our emotions flow, which will show us the boundaries that are in our way, right? If the boundary is like, nope, I can't touch that topic. I can't ask my family that question. I can't have that feeling. Like, if that's the boundary that you're feeling, your emotions are showing you. So, like, what is causing the resistance? What boundary or limitation is in place? If it's a taboo subject, was it Jess who was saying the word taboo keeps coming up? If it's a taboo subject, F taboo. I try not to swear on Insight Timer. Fuck taboo. Who cares? Just let it go. It is life. It is life that we are experiencing. We have every right to talk about everything. Go. Go and explore. Sandy, is this for me? Yes, the whole thing is for you, darling. Joe, 100%. Nancy, right on. Martine, thank you. Nicole, what a beautiful way to go into the new year. Let me double check my events. Do I have? All right, so I guess Friday we got to talk about New Year stuff. There's so much going on in the sky. Maybe Friday will be a longer event. So our emotions right now with this Cancer full moon may have been heightened. They're showing you that something is stuck. Something in your life is stagnant. You can take that with an emotional sense. You could take that with a conversational sense. You could take that with a physical sense. Is there stuff piled up in a room in your house? What is stagnant? Something is stagnant. Maybe to move that stagnant energy, you do need to dive into some unknown something. A topic that you're not meant to go into. A situation that you're not meant to heal. That you're afraid of what you're going to find in there. Every bit of healing work that I've done, I've never come across something that's too scary to handle. And that's because when you move through life, you are constantly growing and evolving and expanding your consciousness. So when you revisit a traumatic event, you're coming with your current level of consciousness to a time when you were less developed, when you were less aware, when you were less emotionally mature. So I can promise you, it's not easy. It gets easier the more you do it. But by taking your expanded consciousness back to heal things that you are holding on to, that's when the healing happens. And you do need to let your emotions go. They don't go away if you bottle them up. They don't go away. And there's a use for everything, right? It gets recycled. This card was talking about how the waters and the clouds build up and then they pour back down to the earth, and like it feels so good. Everything is cyclical in life. Like, you're going to express emotions and then it might evoke emotions in someone else, but then they're going to express emotions and it's going to evoke emotions in something else. You don't want life to be stagnant. There is a flow to this cyclical nature that we live in. I could talk in circles about all those cards. I could just keep coming up with new things to say about all of them, but we're going to move on. Let's see. 3 areas. All right. We are now going to ask, we're going to use Work Your Light. We just used this on Friday last week, but it seemed like it wanted to be used again. What do we already have that's asking to be utilized? This is coming back. If you joined late, we were talking about a minor grand trine in the sky involving with the moon, moon in Cancer, Saturn in Pisces, and Jupiter in Taurus, helping us use our emotions to break down boundaries or limitations in our way, readjust boundaries and limitations, using Jupiter and Taurus, what we already have. So what do we already have that's ready to be utilized to help us clear these emotions? So feel free to send your energy into this deck. What do we already have? If you've been enjoying today's session, if you'd like to offer an energy exchange in the form of a donation, I always appreciate them. You can do so either here or on my teacher profile. Also in my teacher profile, you can do things like follow me on Insight Timer if you want to be updated when I post more astrological content. You can find my personal website where I do astrology readings and a whole bunch of other stuff. Check that out if you're feeling my vibe. My YouTube link is there where this replay will be posted after this. All my other socials are there. I haven't yet sent out my Capricorn playlist. I make these fun little playlists with real radio music for the different zodiac seasons, and I'm about to send out the email with my Capricorn stuff. So if you haven't joined my email list yet, hop on that. I'll probably send that out a little bit later today. What else? Just click around. I have too much to talk about because I'm doing 1,000 projects at once and I'm trying to dwindle it down. But yeah, just keep up with me if you like what's going on here. Sophia loves the question. Melinda, I meant all the areas you talked about, emotions, conversations, and home clutter. Yeah, everything is connected. So, I mean, if you're feeling stagnant and there's been a pile of stuff sitting in the corner of your room, maybe just take 20 minutes to go through it and see how your emotions feel. Patty, OMG, I have been holding on to something devastating and wanting to deal with it, but was afraid I couldn't handle it. But I now see that I am ready. If you guys need support with that kind of stuff, I also offer spiritual coaching, which is available on my website. So just know I'm here to support you because I've done a lot of the work and I've experienced a lot of different ways of doing things. I would love to show you the way. Michelle and Sweat, thank you guys so much for your donations. Very much appreciated. Jess, gratitude as a wayfinder to liberation from old stories. Oh, I like that. Gratitude as a wayfinder to liberation from old stories. Christine, yes, I'm talking to you, but also everyone else who has a pile of garbage in their basement. Myself included. Thank you, Jacqui, for your donation. All right, so I asked what we already have that is asking to be utilized. 5555 on the timer as I finished that question. 2 cards came out and it felt right. So I'm going to use both cards because we have a lot that we're not utilizing, or we have a lot that we might not recognize that we have available to us. Greg, I'm feeling lonely since last night, a bit disconnected, but sense something else going on. So Greg, my question to you is, what is that loneliness trying to show you? What do you feel separated from? And why do you feel like you need whatever the separation has happened from? Does that make sense? Like, what are you getting from whatever? What need is that? Do you get what I'm saying? I know you know what I'm talking about. And Deb, thank you very, very much. Okay. Let's see. We got 2 cards. What do we already have that's asking to be utilized? My goodness. The first card of what we already have, it's Anna, grandmother of Jesus. It's work your light, Jacqui. Work your light. Seeding the light, laying foundations, divine plan. Anna, grandmother of Jesus, was an ancient mystic who dedicated her life to laying the foundations for Christ consciousness to be woven through all of life. She is not widely known, but without her, Christ consciousness would not be rising as it is today. Anna represents the quiet dedication that is sometimes required to live a life of service. She represents the generations that came before that devoted their lives to dreaming a new world into being, while knowing that they would not see the glorious end result. She represents the dutiful soldier, the unconditional mother, and the mystic who can see the thread that is woven through all of life. Anna teaches us that we all have a part to play in the divine plan. It doesn't have to be on the world stage to be significant. One person's part is no worthier than another. One person's part may be to mother their children. Another's may be to gather women in circle each month. No part is better or worse, more important or less significant. We have within us a seed of light that we have incarnated to share. Anna is gathering us all to remember and surrender to our part of the plan. There's a part of your intuition that knows exactly how you're supposed to handle the situation, how you're desiring to handle the situation based off of what you know is right for everybody. Does that make sense? There's a part of you, there's something in you that is screaming to spread light among the collective. Whatever situation you're in, there's a part of you that knows exactly how to heal this. And I feel like you're feeling resistance from the other side. And it's like doubting you. But what tools do we have? What do we already have that's being asked to be utilized? It is your unique light. And for, I don't know, maybe it's to make it stronger. Maybe it's to get you to respect it more. Like there's going to be people who tell you you're wrong. There's going to be people who call you crazy. But if you know exactly what you need to do, it's up to you to do it. And just watch the consequences, right? If you have everyone's highest good in mind, what could you do wrong? Are you acting from love? Or, check yourself. Are you acting from a place of ego? This is just, interesting. I told you guys about that conversation, right? Tensions were building at home. Husband and I had to talk. The emotions started flying last night. We finally talked, and he was, oh my gosh, I love him so much. I love the duality between the masculine and the feminine. He's so like realistic, right? And he's like, but we have this obligation and this and this, and he's keeping the structure of the home. Great. I am here in chaotic feminine, like, oh, but everything's perfect and like we can make it all perfect, right? And he's telling me that like I have this woo-woo sense of the world, but I'm like, I know I do. I'm doing it on purpose because I'm trying to like weave the thread so that we can bring us all into that idealistic future that I have in mind. Your job, keep the structure. My job, create chaos so that we can make it to this beautiful place. Really funny. Anna was an amazing mother. Thank you, Christine. Rosemary, yes, you did get this card. I remember you got it with me. Jacqui, I always love this card. It reminds me that my life is no less significant because it's not the spotlight. Thank you for reminding me. I wanted to talk about that too. Here's a concrete example of how you are directly raising the vibration. I know in this spiritual world, we say it all the time, like when you raise your vibration, it impacts the vibration of everyone around you. And like, I believed it, but I'm a Taurus, right? I need some concrete proof. And something came up on a Pam Gregory talk, Pam Gregory, the astrologer. She interviewed Veda Austin, and Veda Austin is a water researcher. She has the hypothesis that like water is what connects us all. She does a lot of work with it, and she made such a good point that we're all made of water. There's water in us, there's water around us, there's water in the earth, there's water everywhere. So by you ingesting water, taking it into your body, making it a part of your body, then raising your own vibration, right? Releasing stagnant energy, boosting your positive emotions, letting go of traumas, letting go of past things, raising your vibration. Then you excrete the water. You put it back into the earth. And then what does the earth do? It brings it back up to the sky, up to the clouds. And then the gnat just went right in my mouth. It brings it back down. It's like around us all the time. There's humidity in the air. I believe water might be like God. I don't know what to think, but like that made so much sense. So yes, by doing your daily meditation, by taking care of yourself, by putting your soul's needs first, you are helping everything else. You don't need to be this like big guru. I have 20 million followers who do as I say. Like, no. Literally by caring for yourself, you are positively impacting the world. We have one more card. I just get on my soapbox. The hard, deep work behind the scenes that it takes for us to show up in our sacred duty. Yeah, you gotta take care of yourself. Have to. The quiet dedication really resonated with me. Amy, I see that too. Melanie, this card is perfect and your interpretation is perfect. Thank you. Just realize I said perfect twice. It is perfect. Everything is perfect. Sophia's tearing up. Christine sees both sides. Who was it? I missed her name. Pam Gregory interviewed Veda Austin. Rosemary, wow, Jacqui, always love amazing deep work sessions with you. Yes. Okay, one last card. What do we already have that's asking to be utilized? Exactly, Greg. By Jacqui taking me time tomorrow to create, she's raising her vibration, and it's gonna impact all of us. All right. What do we already have that's asking to be utilized? Your divine intuitive love is what I got from the first one. Your general care for humanity and mankind. And the second card brings us break the chain. And this is a card of ancestral patterns, healing, rewriting the future. You are being called to heal your family line or free yourself from living the life of your ancestors. This could mean letting go of an old pattern of your maternal or paternal line. Healing trauma from the past that is not even yours, or observing old ways of being that no longer serve you. We carry emotional trauma in our luminous field for up to 7 generations back. This is why family patterns can be the hardest to break. Often, they are not even ours to begin with. But we do not know another way of being, so we continue playing out the drama. The thing to notice when ancestral healing comes up is that you cannot heal another person, but your own healing can cause another person to choose to heal. Energy is freed up. You are being guided now to look at your life and decide how you want it to be. What ways of being or patterns are you ready to free yourself from? What part of your future do you want to rewrite? Now is the time to shake them off and dream a new future into being. So what do you already have that's being asked to be utilized is your ability to break the pattern. Your ability to break the cycle. Just because it's where you came from doesn't mean it's where you have to go. I wonder, you know what, that makes a lot of sense. With the full moon in Cancer, Cancer is the mother. This could be a maternal ancestral line pattern that you notice. You know, if you're having an issue in one area of your life, maybe take some time in reflection and journal about or inquire within your family about, hey, how would mom, grandma, great-grandma, like how was this situation handled back then? And just inquire, right? You don't need to judge right away. You don't need to say like, oh, well, she did it bad or she did it good. Like just inquire, gather some information, and then ask yourself, is this what I want? What they did, is that what I want for myself? Yes or no? If it is, how do I keep it going? If it's not, what changes can I make? Like what concrete changes can I make today? And it could be, right? So we're looking at Anna, grandmother of Jesus. Sorry about the light. Anna, grandmother of Jesus, and break the chain. And we were asking, what do we already have that's being asked to be utilized? Maybe there's a chain that you see in like all of society, all of humanity. And you can't change other people, right? Like that, you have to accept that. I had to accept that. Still kind of working on accepting that sometimes. You can't change other people, but what you can do is be the light and be an example. Because really when it comes down to it, the more I focused on myself and my healing, my whole world has gotten brighter. My whole outlook on society has lifted because I'm focusing on what I have control over, which is my own emotions and my own experience. Doing that will break the chain because I'm choosing to not repeat the behaviors that got people to where I am not comfortable with being. Love this perspective, Bonnie and Greg and Monica. Jess, sheesh. Wow, when you were talking about the first card, I wrote down, tap into your ancestral knowledge. Oh, Jess. Oh, Jess. So cool. Break the cycle through love and intuition. Yep. Susie, just because that's where you came from doesn't mean that's where I am going. So profound. Yeah. It's comfortable. We were just talking about that, I think, with the first card, the Stagnant Waters card. It's comfortable to you. It's familiar to you. It's just how things have always been. But that doesn't mean it's serving your highest good. Maybe it is time to dive into the unknown of a family pattern that's been around for generations. Maybe you're the one who's here to break it. Bonnie, a good reason not to change other people is that our own way isn't the path for everyone. Yes. Yes. Would you want someone to tell you what your path is? This deck, Chantel, is Work Your Light. Christine, yep, love the work I'm doing to break this ancestral chain. This raises the vibration as well. Yes, yes, yes. Sophia, just curious, is your man interested in spirituality? No problem if you don't want to answer. I love talking about myself. I have, I used to have shame, I guess. But I speak about my life to help you guys. Is he interested in spirituality? He respects what I do, but he doesn't search for his own, but he's willing to get into it when I think it's necessary for what we're going through. So he just started a shadow work journal with me, we're doing it together, which is mind-blowing to me. If I would have known this 3-4 years ago that we'd be doing this together, I didn't think that I'd be doing this kind of work. And then having him as well. And then stuff like when we're having a difficult discussion and I don't know where to go, I come down and I pull from our decks. We just pull cards and it's always oh, that's exactly what we needed to hear right now. It's pretty cool. Rose, wow, my sister was meant to be coming to my house to pray around family issues. She could not make it. This speaks to me. Maybe you don't need the support right now, right? Maybe it's just for you to do right now, Rose. Roxy, powerful messages. Love how the cards match our topic points today with the moon and planets. Exactly. I'm not lying when I say that it's always just a perfect spread that just weaves right in. It's because we're creating such this beautiful tribe. There's so much high vibe connection going on here. I love what this little session has become over the last couple years. Chantel, family patterns and behaviors being passed down to me. Feel this is saying delve into the fear of speaking about this to break the pattern for the next generation. 100. I feel that, Chantel, yes. Martine, what is your favorite deck? I don't have a favorite deck. They all have their purpose for the question that needs to be asked. When I choose the deck that I want to use, I really just think about I feel the energy of what the topic is. So today I did all my astrology and then I was all right, this is very our emotions are trying to show us something. What are our emotions trying to tell us? And I just feel what does that feel like in my aura? And then I look at my decks and I just know oh, that deck is going to help us. I don't know. I don't have a favorite. Thank you for sharing. Are you improvising or following some program for the Shadow Work Journal? Sophia, so there's, it was on TikTok, a TikTok shop. It was heavily marketed, but it's just called the Shadow Work Journal, and I found it on the TikTok shop, and it's great. It's great for beginners, but I'm also getting a lot out of it. He has no experience with looking at this side of life, and it's a really, how do I say it, supportive tool for him to be oh wow, that did used to rub me the wrong way when I was a child, and now I can see how that's impacting my daily life. I'll think about that. It's nice. Look at the number of people you have here today. Thank you, Jacqui, for being here and giving us your amazing downloads. You are very welcome, Christine. Thank you for giving me a reason to talk about this. If I didn't have the group, I'd have no reason to do all this. So thank you so much for hanging out a little bit longer with me today. Thank you guys for all the donations that came through. If you've been enjoying today's session, if you'd like to offer an energy exchange, donations are always appreciated. If you haven't followed me yet on Insight Timer, feel free to give me a follow. I'll be back on Friday to talk about quite a few things. Friday might be a longer session. That's it. if you want to get to know me a little bit more, check out my link tree. It's in my Insight Timer bio. All of my social links are there. You can sign up for my email newsletter. One of those is about to go out a little bit. Can you share the link to the Shadow Work Journal? I'll try to put it in our spiritual community, but Insight Timer really frowns upon sharing external links. So I'm trying to think of any other way I can share it. Thank you so much, Rose, for your donation. Where can I share the Shadow Work Journal link? I'll put it in my newsletter. I'll put it on the bottom of my email newsletter today. So if you go into my link tree, it's like one of the first options. It says sign up for my newsletter or something. I only send them out like once a month, so I'm not annoying by any means. I'm very purposeful with my communication. Cool. I will see you guys on Friday. Enjoy feeling your emotions and learning from them. Sending love to all. Namaste. Jacqui, what was the name of the meditation to facing an older version of yourself called? It is called Releasing Guilt and Regret. And it should be on my Insight Timer profile. Namaste, Sophia, Lori, Michelle, Jacqui, other Jacqui. Nice to see you guys.